As an ex-Muslim, I have in the past expressed some of the reasons why I no longer believe in Islam. But as I have said many times, I don't hate Islam. I know that it brings a great deal of good to many people's lives. And of course I know the vast majority of Muslims are good, decent people. So I thought I'd make a quick video about some of the things I like about Islam. Islam is not a single homogeneous entity, and individual Muslims hold a variety of interpretations, so some of the things I will say will inevitably reflect my own personal view. Plus, of course, not all these things are unique to Islam. To begin with, I always like the emphasis on personal responsibility in Islam. As the Quran says, "No one shall bear the sin of another," in contrast to the idea of original sin, which never made much sense to me. I like the idea that there was no intermediary between myself and God. I could have a personal conversation with God at any time without the need for any ceremony. I found the idea that God is closer to me than my jugular vein, as the Quran says, comforting, and made me feel God saw and appreciated my efforts and the difficulties I had to face. It put things into context of an overall purpose of life, which I found an effective way of dealing with adversity and hardship. I like the emphasis on gratitude, to be thankful and appreciate the things that we have. It helped me to be positive and to see the world as glass half full rather than glass half empty. It helped maintain an inner peace and tranquility at times when it was easy to fret about things I didn't have or that went wrong. One of my favourite hadiths was, "The affair of a believer is always good. If something favourable befalls him, he is grateful, and it is good for him. If harm befalls him, he is patient, and that is good for him." It taught me to avoid falling into the trap of being too despondent when bad things happen, nor too carried away when good things happen, but to face both triumph and disaster with a calm and positive attitude. I liked Islam's emphasis on the unity of God, and that he has no likeness, that he is greater and above all we can imagine of love, compassion, mercy, that he is higher and beyond all human limitations and deficiencies. Islam always seemed a very simple religion to me, as the hadith stated, "Believe in God and thereafter be upright," or as my father always taught me, "Ad-Dinu Mu'amala." Religion is about how you treat people. Treat people with kindness and compassion and respect, and as the hadith says, "Show mercy to those on earth, and the one who is in heaven will have mercy upon you." Be honest, speak straight, true words, fulfill your promises and keep your trust. Walk on the earth with humility, and spend in charity out of that which you love. Do not give a favour just so you can get one back. Pardon people and overlook their faults. Don't you love that God should forgive you? So forgive others. Do not go to extremes in your religion. Be moderate. As the Prophet said, "The best of all matters is the middle way." And he is not a believer who fills his stomach while his neighbour is hungry. And love for your brother that which you love for yourself. And be of good character, for there is nothing heavier in the scales than good character. Islam encourages a practical and balanced way of life. It did not demand I deny myself the pleasures of life and live like a monk, but at the same time it taught me to enjoy the things in moderation and not go to excesses. I found prayer comforting and a way to connect to that something which is greater and beyond this material world and beyond the mundane mechanics of existence. It was a good way to relieve stress and anxiety. Of course, I enjoyed the coming together of family in the evenings after fasting in Ramadan and sharing delicious foods and celebrations like Eid, as well as many of the cultural aspects and customs. I appreciated the self-restraint that fasting gave me and the increased empathy it gave me for those who have little. I always loved the way Islam lays a lot of emphasis on charity and helping those less fortunate, caring for parents, the elderly, the young, orphans, travellers, guests and strangers. As I say, I'm not against Islam. I simply don't believe it anymore. And while I recognise there are many good aspects of Islam, there are, however, other aspects I don't find so good. Plus, as for the good aspects, no religion, race, nation, or people have a monopoly on good values. They belong to humanity. They are human values, and they develop and evolve as we humans evolve. Losing my faith in Islam has not been an easy journey, but one thing it has done is that it has allowed me to take the good from Islam, and indeed from all religions and none, and unapologetically discard those that don't stand up to scrutiny in the 21st century.